What up, guys? So today we wanted to talk about the brand new Turkey Digital Nomad Visa. Now, this is, again, brand spanking new, just came out a couple months ago, and it's one of those that people have been asking about. It's one of those, you know, European-esque visas that people have been looking for, and then it's finally here. And I believe one thing you can notice as more of these specifically European digital nomad visas are rolled out, they each seem to kind of take some learning lessons from previous visas and kind of tweak their own visa. So it's like it's improved and they generally seem to function a little better. We'll see how it continues to progress. I mean, Italy just came out with theirs, and now it's Turkey's, and a lot of it is kind of just paperwork and see how the inner workings of some of these countries functions. And so you never totally know how smooth it's going to be. But if you've been interested in Turkey, if you like that Mediterranean meets Middle Eastern meets North African kind of melting pot of everything going on, it's a fantastic place to go for. And so I want to just get into some of the basics for applying, who will qualify for it, who won't. There's some slight adjustments to who can apply and who will qualify versus other places, but that's what we wanted to get into. So anyways, right out of the gate, you have to be between the ages of 21 and 55. Now, a lot of places will have an age minimum, like you have to be at least 18. Not all of the places have a maximum age, and a lot of them, if they do, it's older. But this is 21 to 55. They want you in that working phase, and realistically, they don't want people that's gonna leech off of the healthcare system. Now, you will need your own, proof of healthcare and health insurance, but again, a lot of places they'd rather just, make sure that's not even a potential or a realistic potential. So anyways, age 21 to 55. As when we get into the income levels, you have to be earning a minimum of around 3,000 US dollars or 36,000 annually. If you have 36,000 just in your bank account, that works too. You can just be like, yo, look at my cash. Here's my bank information. That works. Or, you don't have to have it all saved up. You just have to have documented proof that you're making at least $3,000 a month. And that's that they do allow for you to be a W-2 worker or a 1099. If you are a W-2 worker, you just need a document that, from your employer that says, yeah, you can work, in Turkey or overseas, wherever. And if you are a 1099 employee, you need to have just, demonstrated business contracts that you would normally have. So if you're considering moving, really, if you're considering going anywhere for any digital nomad visa, I would recommend contacting your clients and asking, for some of this information if you don't have it. I know for me personally, I didn't necessarily have like a long-term contract with somebody that stated this is when we started, this is, what it is going forward. It's kind of like a job-by-job situation, even though we'd worked together for years. And so I actually had to reach out and be like, yeah, can I get, can we just kind of whip something up? Most places I found, especially if you've been a 1099 and contracted with them for a while, are really cool. I mean, there's a reason they keep you around and keep using you, so that shouldn't be an issue. At least that's my experience. And also, here's one thing to keep in mind. You need to have a college degree for this one. This is something that has been a newer addition to some of these European digital nomad visas. Italy, for example, they wanted, it's not a necessarily exclusive that you have to have a degree, but it's highly, highly, highly recommended, and you're more likely to get rejected for Italy if you don't have a college degree. With this, you need that, it's a requirement. You have to have a college degree. They don't say specifically what kind of degree, but just you need to have at least your bachelor's degree in something. And of course, if you have additional degrees, even better. But as it's just something to keep in mind. So you need to be in that age group range of 21 to 55. You have to be making at least $3,000 a month, and you have to have at least a bachelor's degree. Now, this particular one, it's kind of interesting because a lot of the times when you apply for these digital nomad visas, it's very specific. It's good for this amount of time, and like it going like as you're applying, that. It's a little different with this one. Like it can be 6 months, it can be a year. They don't really state exactly how long it's going to be. Now, you can renew it, which is great. So even if you are given 6 months, you can renew it as you're approaching the end of the 6 months. And if you're given a year, you can renew it as you're approaching the end of the year. Most likely, if I had to just guess, it's if you were close. Like if you were just squeaked over that $3,000 threshold, they might say, let's do 6 months to keep an eye on this person. Or if you're a 1099 contract worker and they aren't totally sure about some of those contracts. I know some countries have issues if you get your income from, let's say you make most of it off of YouTube or TikTok, or you are like a streamer, or places that you have to keep producing content and there's not really a defined, this is how much you're making. A lot of places aren't really high on that. I can do another video about that later because this is something that I've been kind of discovering more and more. So Turkey kind of built itself a little kind of protective barrier. So if they see after 6 months, maybe your contracts are tweaked, maybe you're not making as much off of YouTube or Twitch or something like that, then they can be like, no, we're not going to renew it. So keep that in mind if you have some interesting work contracts, or if you're just barely meeting some of these thresholds, you might only be given a 6 month cushion. But again, you can reapply and extend it as long as everything's still in good, as long as you still qualify. So you can renew it again as long as you maintain qualifying for this stuff. But again, yeah, it's good for 1 year. You can extend, and this is again brand new, so things will probably change in the future. We'll see how everything rolls out. Supposedly, you are allowed to bring your family on this, but you will have to prove additional financial proof. There's I couldn't come across any specifics on how much more. Now, you will probably learn this during the initial processes. You will apply completely online. I actually like how they do this. For when you actually have to go to an embassy or a consulate, it's nice to know that you pretty much already approved. There's nothing more frustrating than having to schedule a visit to an embassy. Sometimes that's a real pain, especially if you don't live close to a consulate or embassy of the place that you're applying for, and you have to go there and show all the documents, and then maybe you get approved, maybe you don't. It's a waste of time for everybody if you don't get approved. With the Turkey version. With this particular digital nomad visa, you will apply directly through the Turkey website, through their digital nomad visa portal. And if you're approved, they will email you back and they will give you necessary information. And then you take that, you will schedule an appointment with the nearby consulate, embassy, and then you'll take the information that they gave you via the email, and then you go to your appointment. And then you'll finish up. At least once you've been approved via the online portal, you're good to go. Going in, as long as you take all the documentation that the email tells you, you'll be good to go. And at this particular time, you can bring up taking family, whatever. They might require your family to apply via a different visa. Again, since this is brand new, this is just something that you'll have to kind of figure out as you go through it. But you can bring your family. You're just going to have to put some additional financial proof documentation. But anyways, that's kind of the lowdown. Again, this is really new. It's exciting. It's one of those countries where, you stop and think, maybe, I could get into that kind of culture. I could drink the coffee. I could hang out in one of the islands, Istanbul, one of the amazing cities of the world. But anyways, that's just kind of the new Turkey Digital Nomad Visa in a nutshell, and we will probably get more into this in the coming months and next year or so. Anyways, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and I will catch up with you guys later.